Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Silent Podcast, where we're going to be covering Survivor South Africa, episode 13. I'm your host, Sasha Joseph, joined with my co host, my final two. Jason, how are you?
Hey Sasha, I'm doing really well. I'm excited to talk about this episode. Even though I was very upset with the outcome, I'm still cheering for Santoni every day. Hashtag Santoni, put it out there in the Twitterverse. I'm curious to hear what you thought about this action packed episode full of family love.
Oh, I loved it. I will say, loved it as in like tribal council was wild. Going back and forth was wild. Like, again, love everything, but like, why Santony? I almost said Santony. Why Santony?
It was all Anella. I know we're going
Yeah.
to get into it later on, but I've never had such a reaction to a player in one episode where I wasn't cheering for him. Then I was
Yes.
in it with Anella, and then
Yes.
he flipped the table on us and he went back to Kieran, as we'll see later on. But it just broke my heart because I thought they were concocting the perfect blindside.
No, and then I'm like, oh, we're getting this like thing from Tyson that's like, I'm gonna make it to the end. I'm a robot. I'm a this. So I was like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like, this is pretty straightforward. I'm like, they're giving us straightforward, so let's do straightforward. Our girl is gone. Our girl is really gone. Which it's funny because you and I talked about this a lot where we said, oh, the way they played their advantages, like it wouldn't be such a big deal. Or sorry, they wouldn't be making such a big deal if it doesn't turn out. But they should have made a big deal. I just wish they kept the tribal pass. I still stand by it because I think then they really would have had to turn on each other. And it would have been Nicole and Anella probably going to fire. No. Yeah, no, it would have been Nicole and Tyson maybe going to fire.
Yeah, in retrospect, the last two tribal councils, I don't think they handled it the best way, but I still am here for them. Santoni played an incredible game. We saw her on the outs from day one, day two, and she was able to make moves, find idol, create alliances, and get this far in the game without ever winning a challenge.
Exactly.
So I have so much respect for her. And she even going out in this game is still has almost 20 more confessionals than anyone else on the cast. She's giving us everything.
Yeah, that like again, overall, like the jury might not like you. Who cares? We love you, and that's all that matters at this point. Because I know we'll talk about it, but like I want to like talk about it at the start too, where I just didn't appreciate how the jury was very much like, oh, yay, Tyson. Like I didn't appreciate that. I was very confused by it. Like, are they just like salty that they lost to Santoni, or like what is it? Because I don't know. I find it very weird.
I think they're salty, no question. They think they're better players than Santoni, and they are frustrated that she outplayed them. I also do want to say off the top, in the first few minutes, when we got to the merge, I was confident that a woman was going to win this game. And we have unfortunately seen 4 incredible players go out in a row, all who I thought had a great chance at winning this game, who all just happened to be women. And so we're probably going to see a man win this game again.
Yeah, which I just like, it's like to me, it was like that meme, not meme, the gif of a car, that's like the old timey car that's going, and then all of a sudden it stops and breaks down. Like that's what I felt about the women. Which don't get me wrong, I think Tyson and Kieran are probably winning the game. I just can't imagine this was like the last time that it could have been dismantling those two. Like they're amazing. Again, like I said, there's no way they're not winning or they're not sitting, sorry, in the final 2 or 3, which we'll talk about a little bit. I know you have your thoughts on it, but I think if they're going, they're winning. And if they don't win, the jury sucks. If one of them doesn't win, like we fighting, like the jury and me.
Yeah, I agree completely. If either Tyson or Kieran is at the end, one of them has to win. They've both played such great games. And I actually really liked Kieran in this episode, seeing more of his personality and what his sister really brought out of him and opened up. And I like that version of him. He's really fun and is a fan just like us. And we really saw that in this episode.
Yes. So let's get into it. Because I think it starts. I just wanted to, I don't know why, but I want to bring up again, we got the recap of the rice stealing, which iconic moments of Survivor for me. And then like Kieran's being a double agent, which I don't know about you, Jason, but I was like, I literally wrote, no one cares about this fakeness. Everyone sees through it. I was wrong.
You and I both were so wrong.
What the heck? Good on you, Kieran. Again, good on you, my
Yeah,
guy.
what didn't we see is what I was thinking.
Yeah, especially because we got the Santoni confessional saying that she doesn't believe him.
Hmm.
Confusion. Also, I want to say we did get a Warda confessional about the rice, so that's why I was confused as to how she was going to say, no, I was going to leave the rice back. Was that a tell us what you're thinking, and then the producers kind of cutting it a little bit? I wasn't sure, but that was like the only thing kind of from the recap that I thought was funny. Now we're back at camp. Anella is like, wow, I can't believe Chappies did this. He gave me a free pass. If he thinks he can purchase loyalty, he got another thing coming. Do you really think that this is what Chappies thought?
I don't. We saw in the last
Right?
episode, Kieran told Anella this is what
Yes.
Chappies wants to do. And I think it was Kieran putting a wedge between the two of them in case
Hmm.
Anella did feel this way. Kieran was like, he wants you to feel this way.
Yep.
So you cannot trust him when he saves you.
Kieran.
He's playing a good game.
Yeah, 100%. Not even like I said, Tyson and in my mind, I believe Tyson and Kieran are playing very different games. So, and I'm excited for them to articulate that if they get to final two or
Mhm.
when they get to final two. But speaking of final twos, or rather, wait, that comes a little later. Then, Tyson and Kieran is back. Anella is like, I'm still with my other two. We're all together. Taking out Warda strengthened the League of Shadows. Not only that, I what do you feel about Chappies yelling at everyone or yelling at Tyson? Sorry.
I think Chappie's approached this the right way. He did
Yeah.
it in front of everyone else, saying,
Yes.
Tyson, I am tired of you disrespecting me. Treat people the way you want to be treated and treat everyone
Mm-hmm.
equally. And I thought he did it in such a way that he approached it with such politeness and kindness that it just pushed Tyson the wrong way. And he had the opposite reaction to which I thought he would have, where Tyson saying,
Mm-hmm.
Chappies, I can disrespect you however I want. I don't have to treat you nicely. And then he started cussing and yelling. And I don't think this was the outcome Chappies was hoping for when he started this
Yeah.
conversation.
For sure. I think it's also like Chappies and Tyson are pretty like Tyson's young, right? So I think there's a
Yeah.
moment of like you're that's what I'm thinking. Maybe Chappies didn't even mean it, but I think subconsciously he's like, why is this little kid like speaking back to me? And I think there's a lot of frustration from Tyson just with everything, right? So I think it's a little bit of all of it together, which is such a bummer, but like what can you do?
Yeah. Then we see Tyson and Anella talking about their alliance name, the League of Shadows, which I
Ooh.
just love. And
Ooh,
they say,
amazing.
what do you think of it?
No, like first of all, the name is amazing. Like I want it to be like every to me I was if I were ever on Big Brother Survivor, this is the name I want. Like and I know I can't like steal it, so it's fine. I'll let it go, but it's I don't know. I think it works and I also think it's funny because they were all like, well, because of the color of our skin.
Well, it's because they lurk in the shadows.
Yes. And they're like, only three of us look like this and have this color. I was like, Tyson, you're so funny. Like, because the last time he talked about it, he was like, I'm black. I'm black. I can't swim. I'm black.
We also learned in this conversation that Chappies is their target, and then the two ladies, and that Nicole is the fourth wheel in their alliance. And we saw this many times throughout the episode. Tyson is telling Anella, Nicole is on the outs with our inner circle.
Yes. Another thing where I was like, okay, and then what? And then what? And then what? But like, oof, I've just stressed. And then at this point, they're very frustrated and they're like, Chappies is next, like he gotta go. And that's kind of where we end. We pretty much go to the reward challenge right after. I saw you tweeting about this saying the rewards on Survivor South Africa are the best. So I didn't understand what you meant because you watched the show before me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, cool. Like, they get their family reward. Like, why are you so excited about it, Jason? And then the actual reward was is actually amazing. And no one does it like Survivor South Africa, I feel. But let's start at the start with Chappie's is hurting. No matter how strong you look, you know, I hurt too. But give me a day or two. And then Nico is so shady. He said, you don't have a day or two. How do you know you have a day or two?
We see this challenge after challenge from Nico. He is just like messing it up with the contestants, giving them such grief as if they're like good friends. And they're just like
Yeah, I
shooting the
love
shit,
it.
drinking beers at a bar. And I'm here for it. I hope he acts this way in all future seasons. And I hope we see in Survivor 41 Probst interacting this way with the
Yes.
castaways.
I really hope so too. Yeah, exactly. Very much that. I'm hoping that, but we'll see. We'll see. And then, it's we get the like what the challenge will be first. It's standing on a beam with a statue. Very basic. Like you have to hold a pole, and then you have a statue at the end of it. And then, what is the reward? Of course, a family visit.
Because you need someone to help you in this challenge.
Yes. Oh, it was so sweet. I loved it. I really like their family visits. So let's get into it. So Santoni's sister is here. Uh, to me, like very sweet. They're almost like they feel like twins. They're so like similar looking, the hair, everything. And then they go, "Do you see how hot Nico is?"
And this is the sister we've heard Santoni mention a few
Yes.
times in this season. So I love that that was her loved one visit.
Yeah, yeah. And she said, I played an idol twice because of you. I loved that. Again, just iconic Santoni
Yeah.
behavior. And then we get Tyson. Who is this man that brings this side out of Tyson? Because Tyson's BFF is here and they're so sweet. They're so excited to be around each other. And if like my friends don't act this around me, it's a wrap. Like we're fighting.
And we saw Tyson smile and really show like humility and like he's a human for the first time this season. And everyone
Yes.
commented on that. We've never seen him so happy.
Yeah,
And
or
they were
smile.
yelling so loud, everyone in that part of South Africa could hear them.
100%. Like they were just like boys. Like they were like, we're reunited. It's a party. I made it. You're here for me. Like, oh, it was perfect to
And
watch.
I wish we could have heard from one of the loved ones who ran out after him what they experienced on the other side of that bush.
Oh,
Just
I didn't
hearing
even
this like
think of that.
hysterical yelling, thought maybe Kieran's sister would make a joke about it or something at the reward.
Yes, that's what I mean. Or Chappie's wife, because she seems to be very into it and very
Yeah.
about all of it. So that's what I would, yeah, it would have been hilarious. I also wanted to think about which later at the end of the reward when they were all walking back, were they gonna share with each other, like, oh, you and I are not supposed to be friends because our people hate each other. Because that would be hilarious to
Yeah.
me, but it's fine. I guess it doesn't end up happening. But anyway, and then Kieran's sister is here. So many beautiful Indians on my screen. And of course, she says everyone's very proud of you at home. They're so sweet together. Like I loved
Same.
their relationship. She seems to be like a fan too, Jason, because just the way they were interacting with each other, I loved it.
Yeah, the way she's able to talk about the game. That's
Yeah,
what really impressed
exactly.
me.
Yeah,
What
and
did
then
you think of Nicole's brother?
oh my, oh, it does Nicole.
Or
Oh,
was it Anella's brother who went
yeah,
next?
Anella's
Sorry.
next. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, Anella's brother, like I don't know why I got so emotional with Anella's brother. Like they were just very sweet together and they were like, we're more than brothers, we're best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nico asked, are you surprised that your brother has made it this far? Nope. Absolutely the hell not, sir. That's the kind of vibes I need from my loved ones. Like
Oh
my
yeah.
loved ones need to hype me up. They need to be so excited about. And then yeah, Nicole's brother, like, what was going on?
He's a monster. Like when he ran
Yes.
out, I thought bring them back for blood versus water.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Maybe they both like work out a lot because even like Nicole, she's pretty strong. She's
Yeah.
winning everything. I mean, not everything, but she's a good contender as well. So, and the way he talks about her, he kisses her, I think, forehead and says, "My little champion." So they seem to be very like I don't know like what the word is, but competitive and like into each other in that way. So I was like, "Oh, okay, Peter. I see you."
They could probably win on the Amazing Race.
100% they would win. Oh my, it wouldn't even be close because they seem to be very smart too about
Yeah.
it. And then we knew this was gonna happen. Where I even wrote in my notes, Chappie's is gonna be on the ground, bro. And then it's Chappie's wife time. She comes out. She's pregnant. So I was like, did she have the baby? Like, what's going on? And then she comes out. And then of course they hug. And then he drops on the floor. She's pregnant. And then he, says like, she's my pillar of unconditional love, blah, blah, blah. And then what did you feel about Nicole snitching here?
I had to rewind it. I wasn't sure
Oh,
who said it at first that he steals our food. I actually thought it might have been Santoni making a joke at her friend,
oh,
but I thought
yes,
Chappie's wife handled it perfectly. Oh, well, he does that. Totally playing it off and like rubbing it back in Nicole's face.
exactly.
Shut her down.
Yeah, like what do you expect him to like? They basically are like little kids being like, teacher, teacher, help us against this kid. That's what they want, and they're just not getting it because it was very weird to me. I will say, when Santony was talking to her sister and Chappie's with his wife, where like the others were kind of just not so into it. I will say, but maybe that's just
Mhm.
me and my read on the situation. I think they just really don't like Chappie's, which whatever. Like I think they have a right to be angry.
I think they're
It is
just jealous
annoying.
of him. They're trying to get him out. It's not working.
Yeah, exactly. And then we start. But before we start, like Jason, who would you be your loved one that comes out?
Mine would probably be my mom. When I first
Mm.
started getting into Survivor, I would like tell her and like in my Mother's Day cards or like, can't wait for you to be my Survivor loved one visit.
Oh my
Because
god,
I
I
think,
love
you have to think
that.
about someone who's going to like instantly hug you and give you energy and boost you up
Yes.
to go to the end of the game. What about you?
Exactly. Yeah, I think it would have to be my husband. We talk about this all the time, and I'm always like, well, I'd want my mom, but like because like I think she's chill, but then I was like, no, because I really want someone that's like gonna hug me, that's gonna, hype me up, and that's someone that gets what's going on. And I think
Yeah.
my husband obviously will get it more. And then I think I could like talk strategy to him, and then he could be like, don't be an annoying person. Like, you're being a little loud, or whatever. I think he could like mirror my game back to me and like help me out in that
But
too.
your mom would be the most popular loved one of the season that visits. So
Oh my
no
gosh, he
question.
wanted to come up here to say hi to you. But then I was having technical issues before we started. That's why I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm not looking at the camera. The setup is a mess. But yeah, she actually when she was doing yoga downstairs, and she's like, wait, don't start without me. And I was like, Mom, we got stuff to do.
I thought when
Oh
this
my
challenge
gosh.
started, I pretty much thought that Chappies was going to win because he's just taller than
Really?
everyone else. He's agile. I also thought
That's
Nicole would have a
true.
really good chance just
Yeah, I
because of
thought
her
Nicole
balance.
would win. Exactly. Yeah.
I was really surprised that Kieran fell out in about 5 seconds because
Not
we've seen
even.
him compete in challenges time in and time out.
Exactly. And like these kinds of challenges, right, where he has to use his upper arm strength, like when he stayed up on the pole, like they talked about a lot this episode. So yeah, it was. I will say, I found it to be very bizarre, that they couldn't figure it out, or like it wasn't clicking for some reason. Bizarre. And then Santini also drops, but Santini drops second this time, everyone. And then did you see Nicole's brother biting his scarf? Or whatever was in his
Yeah,
mouth.
did they give him a buff? That's what I
It
was
looked
confused
like a
about.
buff to me, but I didn't want to like. Yeah, I was like, it can't be a buff, right? And like, I kind of dismissed it. Maybe it wasn't. What the hell? That'd be wild
He
if it
was
was
so
a buff.
nervous.
Yes, so nervous. And then Nicole drops immediately, and then now it's Anella, Tyson, and Chappie's left, and then they had to go to the next part, like walk up the beam a little, and then as they were walking, poor Anella drops. But good on you. He came in third, not
Hmm.
you're on the podium, and then Who did you think between Tyson and Chappie's now was winning?
I really thought Chappies was going to win because
Wow, I thought Tyson was gonna win.
I think Chappies wanted to win more. He wanted
Yes,
to spend
that's
time with
correct.
his wife in one-on-one. He thought that was what they were competing for.
That's
And,
true.
and I think he would have stood up there even if it would have started raining. He would not have
Yeah,
stopped unless someone pushed him
I
off
see
that
what
beam.
you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. And I think I so here's like, how do you feel about people, cheering you on while you're like doing a, task or a challenge, whatever?
I think it would be really distracting because they've been
Yeah,
competing for 31 days without
yes.
anyone cheering from them. And now it's not just someone cheering for them. It's someone whose voice they could recognize in a crowd of 100 people. Someone
Yep.
that they can hear every word they say, every breath they take. And I think it would really distract me.
Yeah, I think so my husband again and I like talk about this and I was like, you cannot talk. I was like, just maybe like because I think it was like Chappie's and then Chappie's wife and then Tyson. I'm sorry, I should have wrote their names down, but and Tyson's friend are like really almost trying to one up each other, and I want to tell them and be like, no, like shh, 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 shh. Like you're ruining it. Stop it.
And what we've seen from the video he got, Anella's brother really is the loudest. I thought he
Yes.
might have been distracting the other two if Anella had made it farther.
Oh, 100%. And that's what, yeah, because I think if I heard anyone's voice, I think I would have lost it because I needed to have like, and I almost like complete, attention. And then I think if I'm hearing my loved one, I'd be like, oh my God, it'd be so nice to, almost like psyching myself out. And that would have been awful.
Especially when it was a competition like this, when it was so
Yes.
close. If it had been something where it was like more of an obstacle course and someone was really far behind, maybe their loved one cheering for them
Oh,
would motivate them and accelerate
yes,
them
I
through
see
the
what you're
challenge.
saying.
But this, they're just standing there having to
Yeah.
focus. So it was hard. They
Oh,
both did really well.
exactly. It was beautiful. Like I said, it was amazing. But then, of course, even though Chappies was shaking more than Tyson, like he ends up winning because again, his wife was like, "Listen to your body, fight for what you want." Chappies is like a transformational coach, right? So I'm wondering if his wife is or if she's caught up with it because she was the way she was motivating him was very interesting.
And I've seen online they both did used to be like professional bodybuilders and
Oh, that also
bodybuilder
makes
like
sense.
competing in pageant shows. So I think they're used to motivating each other.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Got it. Yeah, and then I couldn't believe Chappie's one. I will say Tyson looked salty as hell. Nicole's crying. Oh. And then Chappie's is smelling his wife's hair. I don't know if you saw that.
I I wonder what it smelled like. I hoped he would have. I actually hoped Nico would have asked him.
Right? That's what I thought they were going to when it panned to him doing that, but I doubt Nico even like noted it that much because there's probably so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but anyway, so then he's like, Chappie's come up here. And it's not what you think, people. You have to pick two people, but not two people to get their loved ones, but two people to go up against you in the immunity challenge. Jason, tell me everything. How do you feel?
I could not believe this. This shocked me. When Nico first said,
Huge
it's not what
advantage.
you think, I thought it would be a reward related to the loved ones where he might get to dull out. Like you get to spend 10 minutes with your loved one, you get to
Yep,
spend 30 minutes, you get an overnight visit, or that Chappie's had to give up his loved one's visit and
that's what
choose
I
who
thought.
else
Yes,
would get it. But
exactly.
no, no, no. This is a brand new Survivor twist. Chappie's gets to pick the two people he wants to go against. And I was not surprised at all with who he chose, with being Anella and Santoni, the two people he felt he could easily beat in a challenge. And I was really nervous, thinking to myself, Chappie's just won the loved one
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
reward,
yeah.
and this is all he gets. He just gets to hug his wife before and after the
Right?
challenge. But thank goodness
Oh
I
my
was
God.
wrong.
Yeah, so right. I loved it too. Like I was like, this is so cool because I am in the camp of like it's not fair for some people to have their loved ones while the others, you already paid for the flight, like whatever.
Yeah, they're
Just
there.
let them exactly. And for them, they quarantined, so even worse for not to not let them stay. So I'm always team like keep the loved ones because the person that does get the loved ones visit, I think it makes it worse because I think it makes it worse for other people.
Yeah, and I just want to say also, even though I haven't mentioned this yet in regard to the loved ones, I really didn't think that we were going to see a loved ones visit this season.
Hmm.
We saw videos as a reward earlier. We saw letters. It's a pandemic. I was shocked when the loved ones started running out. I just never thought we would see
Right?
it.
Thank God they were able to do it
And they
because
made it
oh my
work.
God. Yeah.
But then Nico tells
Perfection.
everyone
Yes.
the reward actually, because of outsurance, we have out rewarded ourselves.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to go back to camp and gets a make your own burger bar. And this is when the fireworks went off.
Oh, wow. And then I was ready for this, right? First of all, I'm like, what's gonna happen? Something's going on. Well, fine, whatever. There's the burger bar. Kieran and Santoni hug. Did you
You
notice
saw,
that?
oh my goodness, I was so surprised. Why were they
Yeah.
hugging? Maybe, and I thought maybe Kieran really is a double agent, or they both
Ex-
bonded over their love of burgers.
Mhm.
Maybe they have the same favorite burger topping, and because of
Yes.
that, they were embracing.
That's what I'm saying. I was just like, what's going on? This is wild. I love it. So either way, whatever reason it happened, it happened. And I was like, maybe they're gonna work together. Anella just whispers, I hope there's beer. Yes, Anella.
On
And
brand.
exactly. And then they're at camp, and you can see like, hey, we're human beings, we're not just, contestants or game players, like, like, and then Chappies was even talking about how people bring, like, how the loved ones bring everything out, which I thought was a really sweet sentiment, especially for Tyson. I feel like for the other people usually ends up working, but like for Tyson it was like a 180 for real. Which to me also, Jason, shows that if Tyson trusts you, like, you were in for life, I feel like, with
Yeah,
this kind of person. And then last question before we actually get into the conversations, did you like notice that green drink? Like, what is that?
I totally noticed that.
I
I
was
was
like, what are
thinking
they
because it looked like
drinking?
it was in a bottle, and then it looked like it was in a glass.
Yeah,
So I thought it was an
exactly.
alcoholic drink because I've never seen a soda that color, and you wouldn't want to drink
Mm-mm.
a soda when you're so depleted being out there on
No,
Survivor. So
exactly. I have no, that's what I'm saying. I have zero idea
I
what
also
was
was
going
really
on.
surprised at how much food they had. They had enough
Yeah,
burgers
it
to
was like
feed
a
30
meast.
people. Yeah,
Meast.
a
A
meast.
merge feast.
The third merge feast they've had this season.
Yes, literally. Like at the water park when they had all the meat. Like it was like Arby's. We have the meats.
Could be a new sponsor of Survivor South Africa.
Period. And then we get, out insurance people. Don't forget out insurance. Because that they have out insurance blankets. Do you think they'll get to keep them as like, because I feel like that's a luxury item.
I think it's going to be like the cutlery from last week. Leave these at the reward. You can't take them back to camp.
I know. I literally made a note. I was like, is this like is this an auction, or is this like we get to keep? Um, and then they talk about like, go with your gut. If something tells you it's wrong, it's wrong. I think Santoni says that.
Yeah, her
And I'm like,
sister.
Lord, save me. And then we have the strategic talk. Have we really seen? No, actually, I take it back. I know we've seen like them talk, to their loved ones about strategy, but maybe it's because their loved ones are also fans that, like, I feel like this was like level 2 of like strategy talk with their loved ones.
I've never seen anything like this. Sometimes we
Yeah,
see like one loved one in Castaway have strategic conversations.
exactly.
Never do we see all of them, every single one of them being like,
Yeah,
who are you working with? What's your strategy? You can get to the end.
exactly. I have no, like I said, no idea, but like, wow. So then we get Chappies, and he's like, Plan A is that I need to win out. Plan B, and this is where Jason, I was like, what? Is that he said aligns with Kieran, hopefully that works out, or maybe even with Anella, but Anella's a flip flop. That's a lot of like confidence for someone that like literally these two people can't wait to stab you in the back.
I just want to give kudos to Kieran. He had
Yes,
infiltrated Chappies and Santoni. We didn't think it happened last episode, but we're seeing the payoff for that one conversation in this episode
100%.
time and time again. I really disagreed with Chappie's plan. I think plan A should be creating alliances because that's what's going to get you to the end of the game. Because you can trust yourself to win, but you need to trust
Exactly.
other people to advance.
Yep. That 100% how I feel. I was surprised by him, but I think he's unfortunately just aware that no one wants to work with him. And that's why he's like, I'm gonna just win out, screw it. And then I think to get, such a big advantage of like having, to pick the two people. Oh, shoot, we didn't even get to talk about the two people he picked. My bad, everyone. Um, where the two people that he picked to play against him, let's quickly talk about that. Sorry. He
Yeah,
picked he picks right before
Yeah, he
afterwards.
picked
Yeah.
Santoni and Anella to go against him
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't know why
immunity
I didn't take
challenge.
notes about that. That's so weird. But yeah, he basically says, I need to pick Santini and Alela. That's the people I need. Goodbye. What did you think about the people he picked? So sorry that we skipped that.
It was the right decision.
100%. Oh my God, not even
We've
close.
we've seen Kieran and Nicole win immunity challenges. We've seen Tyson, I'm pretty sure, win an immunity
Yep.
challenge. So why would you want to go against them? Pick Anella and Santoni, who are coming in
Yep.
last in everything.
Exactly. 120%. Like I said, wasn't even close. The right thing to do. And then okay, sorry. Now we talked about Chappie's. I like Chappie's wife where she's like, okay, so you want to win out. I think she was like trying to kind of like not sow some doubt, but kind of being like, let's diversify, our like earnings a little here. Let's, not invest all in one. So I appreciated that. I felt like she was really his partner in that moment. And then Nicole is just like, Chappies and Santony is crazy. And I'm just having fun. What did you think?
I was so angry when this happened. When
Yeah.
she's talking about Santoni, how she's crazy, she lies, she cries, and then she denies it and blames us.
Mm-hmm.
But Nicole's brother was like, "You say everyone's crazy. Come on,
I
how
loved
bad is
him.
she?"
Oh my God.
I
He was
love
like,
that.
okay. And y'all talking about the everyone. Okay. You literally say that about everyone. What's the problem? Which I just couldn't help but giggle at because I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And I remembered this conversation later on in the episode when we were seeing potentially Nicole and
Hmm.
Santoni working together. Because I was having a lot of doubt based on this conversation
Yeah,
Nicole had with her
exactly.
brother.
Yeah, no, I didn't trust at all. Don't, yeah. And then, which is why I was like, Nicole, like, it's very weird because you like the other three, but you're at the bottom. So why not flip and get, some advantage where just because of Nicole's competition prowess, she could just be an immediate second with Chappies and Santony. Anyway, it's okay. And then Tyson finally talks about the League of Shadows. It's like, and I loved it again. It's Kieran, Anella, and him, just so everyone knows. And then I loved Tyson's friend because he turns around and he's like, hey, Anella, League of Shadows, huh?
That was great.
Perfection. Oh my
I
God.
was hoping, because I'm just cheering for Santoni and Chappies, that
Of
one of them
course.
was like getting a burger as that was happening and overheard Tyson's friend
Yeah.
talking about the alliance to Anella. But
Yeah, but no,
what
I
can you
think it's
do?
just the loved ones are too smart. Like that's just I
Yeah.
think it. Like they're not, it's not gonna happen with these particular ones. And then we get Kieran who's also talking to his sister, like having a moment, and then Kieran goes, wait, the sponsor's logo is tied to something else and there's always something going on there. And then we do get a few camera zoom ins before that, so I don't know if Kieran was watching the camera or maybe it was after, maybe it was like while they were setting everything up, while the reward challenge was going on. It probably was that it was beforehand, like b roll that they got, but still. Kieran starts walking. And then what would you do here, Jason? Because Kieran asks Nicole's brother, can I stand on your shoulder? Because your sister is in my alliance.
If I was Nicole, I would have told my brother not to do that. Boost me up instead to get that idol.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What would you have done? I
And I wish we would have gotten a confessional from Nicole being like, I'm so mad at my brother.
Yeah,
I'm
we
here to
did.
play my game. We did, but not as much as I would have hoped.
No,
I
no,
was
no.
really
Yeah, it was
disappointed
just
with her perspective
yeah,
because
all she said was, "Oh, like it's so disappointing that my brother is helping someone else because this could, mean like I'm in trouble in the game." That's it. And I was like,
yeah, she
"Oh."
should have blown up the spot at tribal council and been like, Kieran's only playing this idol because of my brother.
She
My
said it.
brother
She
is the
said
one.
it. Yeah.
Like I said, she says
But
these
like I said,
things,
she's
but not with the
not, yeah,
delivery and the intention,
gumption.
yeah, that I
Yeah.
would be having if I was in that situation. And that's more of, I think, where I'm coming from is even though she
Hmm.
said the words, she didn't really say what she felt.
No, I don't think so, unfortunately.
And I just want to say also, Kieran is right. We've seen, especially on Survivor South Africa, there are rewards next to the sponsor logos. That is the thing they do.
They want, which makes 100% sense, right? Like you want your sponsor's logo front and center to me. Like it makes a lot of sense, actually. So it's just so funny. And then like I also have a question. How did Chappies miss this?
Yeah, where were they?
Yeah, Chappies and Santoni seem to be gone. So this is my question. Was this when they were leaving to the challenge? Or were they getting ready to go to immunity? Because it was just bizarre. Like it just honestly was so bizarre.
Because what are the odds that both Chappies and Santoni were filming separate confessionals while this was happening?
Exactly.
Or they were
But
down
then
in
where
the
were their
water
loved
with their
ones?
Exactly. Something wasn't
If
adding up
I
to what
saw
we saw.
someone taking it, I would have been like, hey, loved one, they got an idol. We caught it.
Especially because we know Chappies and Santoni's loved ones are fans.
Exactly. Oh my god, I would have tried to like wrestle it and be like, right, I'm not in the game. Sorry, everyone.
Chappies, Santoni, if you hear this, let us know what was going on. How
Yeah,
did you not see this? Please share some of this insight with us.
Yeah, and did y'all like end up looking for the idol at all and you just didn't end up finding it? Because again, Chappie's king of scavenger hunting. What it could be that, you know, like he's just in the moment with his wife and like he knew he was winning immunity. Let's be honest. So I think that's probably why. But whatever, I guess I'll let it go. And then, you know, and this is the only tribal that they could use it at anyway. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So then and that was kind of the end of it. Again, if my loved one, especially my husband, lent a shoulder to anyone, oh my god, he would never hear the end of it. Like there's no way. It's just absolutely not. He would have been like, Sasha, you're in the same alliance, right? Like let's just, you step on my shoulder and then we'll share it.
And my biggest question after that is if Kieran had not gotten on Nicole's brother Peter's shoulders, how would he have gotten it?
He
Would
would,
he,
yeah.
would he have stood on Anella's shoulders? Would he have tried to climb the mountain, the cliff, to get to the top of it?
Probably. He would have had to. He would have had to do something.
Because he couldn't just leave it there.
That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. It's bizarre. Everything about it, like, ugh, it's fine. It's fine.
But I was happy Kieran got an idol.
That's what I'm saying.
For him as a player.
Yeah, this is all hilarious because like we love Kieran, we love freaking Tyson. So it doesn't even matter. I'm just confused at all of it, but it's fine. And then we get to immunity. Chappie's got to again choose who he went to. So of course he said I had to pick two people with the worst track records. Bad for them that it's them too. Good for me that it's them too. I loved it. I think it was like the perfect like way to explain it. And then yeah, and then you know, Santoni's like, I'm just happy because I get to be on the podium, which was hilarious, I will say.
It was adorable. I was so happy when she said this because I hadn't thought of it until she said it out loud. And I don't think Nico had either.
No, I don't think so. And Nico was like, oh, right. Yeah, that's correct. You're right.
Because usually the castaways are not excited to come in third place. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, Santoni's like, bro, I just wanted to get on here and like get something going for myself. Like, I'm happy. So, you know, and that's why we love her because like I think she knows her space, she knows where she is, and like she's fine with it. She's truly like okay with it. Because she knows that she can figure other stuff out and kind of work the other things. And then you know and then here, finally, Nico shares with them that this is the last tribal you can use any advantages, you know, immunity, anything, and no immunity island, which is such a bummer because Santoni would have stayed. And they would have had to eat each other. Do you agree that this being the last one made, sorry, the Fire Idol one being the last one made sense?
No.
Right?
I think they really wanted the Fire Idol to get into the game. They wanted to see what happened, but having it be played so late in the game, I think was a detriment to this round. I think they should have introduced it earlier on in Immunity Island, and maybe it can be played until like final 9.
Yeah. very much agree with you. I was just like, this is a bummer on account that that is just like I don't know. I just felt like it was really hard to watch because they were Chappies and Santoni were I wonder if they were relying on that to really like get something going for themselves.
Hmm.
That's why I couldn't like understand. And I was just like, this is such a bummer.
But there was a moment at the end where I was about to be the biggest Fire Idol fan. Had one rope burn before another one. Just saying.
Yep.
Just
And
saying.
had the wind moved a certain way, apparently.
But we get to this challenge,
It's fine. Yes.
and they have to, throw a hook into the grappling hook and like pull it back. Chappie's
Yeah.
did it in his first throw. Like he's done this
I
before.
he
It
like
looked
does
like
it.
to
I'm
me.
telling you, it's wild
And
how he just moves.
and Santoni got it really fast, and Anella it took forever. And once they got, they released their ball, they had to do the
Hmm.
classic Survivor maze, the big wooden puzzle that we see time and time again. I actually have a miniature version of this challenge
Yes, yes, I yeah.
without the ropes, but even without
Hmm.
the ropes, it's really hard. I couldn't imagine doing this in person. I think that puzzle itself probably weighs 30, 40 pounds. It is a very large
Yep.
structure.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's not a joke. And like you could see Santoni was like it was like blopping and flopping everywhere. Probably because again, like it's really heavy and like there's only so much she could, move. Because remember, she did a version of this at Fire Island.
At Immunity
At
Island, where she had to,
Immunity.
with the ropes, control that other
Exactly.
puzzle.
So I think
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I've done a version of this, but I bet this one was so much heavier that it just like I doubt it was close. And then Anella like comes in third to the puzzle, but then I feel like he was moving quick too, where I thought he was gonna get it, but then I remembered like there's a learning curve to this. So like unfortunately, if you do get there earlier, you do have a better chance of winning. And then they seemed pretty even. Santoni was unfortunately again couldn't really like couldn't really hold it. So she kept going into the holes.
Hmm.
And then Chappie's wins. He obviously made the right choice, which I think we knew. It's now his third immunity win. It's a hat trick. Oh, and he has 1 in 5 shot, Jason. I'm making it.
I was so happy when Chappie's won. Good for him. Winning 3 in a row is no small feat.
No,
His fourth
I
challenge
agree.
win overall. He's really showing up and making the right decisions. And
Yeah,
even though it's making the target on his back bigger, this is the only path he has to get to the end.
100%. Unfortunately, Nico asked it and he was like, yeah, I mean, like, technically I could have a strong alliance, but I don't. Like,
Hmm.
it's like this is my way. Which is I think setting us up because like I just can he do it? Sure. Like, is it, statistically possible? I don't know. I don't know.
I think he can do it.
Yeah. I hope. That's what I'm saying because I think he is like stronger than everyone else, but like and like more agile, right? Not just beast wise strong. Like I think he like is smart about it all.
But all it takes is 1 second of an error in a challenge to lose.
Exactly.
What did
So
you
we'll
think when they were back at camp and we saw Tyson, Kieran, and Nicole talking about the fire idol, talking about the immunity idol,
hmm
having this like
and
I would say ego-filled conversation of them
yes,
like boasting how they're safe, they have the advantages now.
because Tyson says Kieran has this advantage, but he's not gonna need it. And not even that, like he can just take it home as like a really nice
A souvenir.
souvenir. So I was like, okay, okay. And then then they all show up, and then Santini's like trying to talk about the challenge, and they're just talking over her, like
Yeah,
they
that
don't
was so
even care.
disrespectful.
Like I really want to know because it's just not clicking for me. Like why do they hate her so much? Like she's actually worked with old Vuna, right? Like so much that it just doesn't make sense to me.
And we saw this in many conversations after this point in the episode, them being like, can we withstand 3 more days of Santini? Do we really have to hear her talk for
Yeah, be
this
annoying.
much
She's so
longer?
annoying. And I was like, what the heck, dude? But they kind of did that with Anesu also.
Yeah.
Not in the same way, but I think they're very much like she's a snake. She's a snake. she's a snake. So I was just like, okay, cute, bye. So yeah, so anyway, and then they, they're like, Chappie's knows that they're scared because he would be scared. This is his third immunity win. It's a hat trick, as Santoni says, and then Tyson says, nah, no worries. Because none of us are gonna go out before Chappie's. It's gonna be Santoni, which I was like, yikes, ouch.
So intense.
And then this is where I was like, oh, Kieran is part of it, because then we get the scene of Santoni, Nicole, and Kieran doing a little like, is this okay? And Kieran and Nicole are like, yeah, it's chill. We're on the same page. Nicole was like, I was just tanning when we were here. I wasn't doing anything.
Ugh.
Santoni, girl, you in trouble.
And it seems like Santoni bought it.
Yeah, I think she did, unfortunately. And then Santoni starts saying, well, Tyson and Kieran are scary. I know that they're liars, but then Nicole says, no, it'll be straightforward, it'll be fine, blah blah blah. And then now it's time, Jason, buckle up, because Kieran says he wants Nicole out. What do you think about this?
This is the right decision.
100%.
We hear Kieran saying to them, Nicole is a challenge threat. Santoni is an easy vote. If we take out Santoni and then Chappie's wins next, Nicole could win the fourth, and one of us won't be in the final three. And he pointed to Tyson when he said that.
Yes. And this is where Anella was like, oh, you point to each other, but you're not pointing to me. Oh, so that means we're now playing a individual game, and the League of Shadows is done. La la la. And I was like, it's not done, guys. Oh my God.
This was a great play by Kieran.
100%.
I think it's the right move. And he actually, at the end of the episode, we see got Anella on his side, but he was saying, I have to make Anella agree with me. Even though it might not be in his best interest, I have to get him on this path.
Yeah, because Anella immediately starts talking about, well, my cover letter, is not going to work. My CV, it's going to be a mess. Like, I can't allow this. I can't. And I'm just like, dude, what the heck? Because I will say I agree with Anella, where it is not in his best interest to vote Nicole out, because jury loves her, and the jury is going to be so biased. It's a wrap.
And he did say, this would be Kieran's move.
Yes, which I agree, again, very much agree with.
And we hear Anella, is concerned about his resume, because he mentioned it last week with Anesu. If I go along with this plan, it's her move, not my move. And so now I'm thinking Anella's move is just going with the plan. Like, that's what he's filling his resume with, is just following other people.
That's what I don't understand, where I was like, being part of a like wild plan is, you still get a lot of credit, because you can say it was sad, I am so unfortunate to, like, my friend is gone, la la la, all this, like, there's so much you could say about it, and then like, and you could still finagle your way out of it. You lose Marisha's vote.
Okay. But I actually think Anella was right in thinking that if he turned on Nicole this early, even though it's pretty far into the game, he would lose all of the OG Zamba's votes.
Yeah.
Because they would turn on him and say, you could have gone with Nicole farther. Not necessarily because they like Nicole more, but because they see them as a duo. And they want the two of them to get to the end.
100%. Yeah, like I said, I agree with you. I think Anella is correct here, and I think Kieran is correct. Unfortunately, as allies, it's not lining up for the two of them.
We also then hear Kieran say, we know they want to vote for Tyson, and I will play my idol for him. Like, go with us, Anella. This plan is going to work. League of Shadows to the end.
Yep, and Anella is just not having it. It seems like Anella just kind of like went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, it was just, what? My head was spinning, Jason, because then Anella's like, nope. I don't want to go their way. And then Santoni knows something's up. So Santoni talks to Anella and says, something's up. Tyson won't even look at me. And Anella's like, what did I just tell you? I said I would tell you something's up. So you need to not stress out.
And she keeps pushing him like, is it me? Is it me? Would you tell me if it was me? Come on.
And
like
he's just like,
agitating Anella.
yeah, and he's just so irked by everything. Unfortunately, I think.
I also thought it was weird in this moment that Anella had his buff pulled over his face.
Yeah, I was like, COVID got it. Like it did, but again, I think he's unfortunately. I think that's a smart way of disguising your emotions.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just such a bummer. And then, yeah, Kieran and Tyson are now chatting, and then, they're now talking about you're right. Keeping Santini is the best case scenario, even though she's irritating. And Kieran was like, I'm a double agent, da da da. But they're leaning towards like Nicole now. And I think rightfully so. They've gotten Kieran, I think, has gotten Tyson to kind of like understand what the heck is going on.
And they do talk about how Nicole is not dumb. She will play the
Mm-hmm.
fire idol if she hears her name. And Kieran tells
Exactly.
Tyson, "Don't worry. If she does, I'll play my idol on you."
For you. Ugh, BFFs, man. I'm telling you, I love them. So that's what we knew, like right here, right? Like we're just like, yeah, something's up, like things are gonna happen. And then Anella says, no, 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 not on my watch, people, because he said he goes to Nicole, Jason. Now, what do you think about Anella spiraling now? Like, walk us through this.
I feel that Anella, at this point in the game, was going in the right direction.
Yes,
He heard
correct.
there was a plan by his allies to vote out his closer ally who would follow him no matter what. And it would
Mm-hmm.
be illogical for Anella to vote out his +1 in this moment, thinking he could make a move.
Yep.
He did everything right.
Agreed.
He had a great conversation with Nicole. Who do we not want to sit next to? Kieran is overconfident. He's going to play his idol on Tyson, and it's our time to
Mm-hmm.
strike. This was perfect. And
Yes.
I just want to pause and say, I was so impressed with Anella's game and thinking, wow, he really has been playing
Yeah.
and maybe playing dumb to everyone else and saying,
Exactly.
Nicole, how do we do this? We just need one more person. And I'm, a big survivor dork. I'm thinking in my mind, it's going to be a 3-2-1. This is
Mm-hmm.
magic. They're going to pull off this big move over the strategic masterminds, Tyson and Kieran.
Mm-hmm. So that's exactly, and that's what he wanted, right? He's like, actually, like, um, let's vote
And
Kieran out because, and he just tells everyone. And then he's
but
like, he goes to Chappie's after.
I
Yeah,
was going
go
to say,
ahead.
before he goes to Chappie's and he's talking to Nicole, Kieran walks up to them. And to me, I was like, oh, Kieran's about to bust their plan in motion.
Yes, that was so funny. I couldn't stop laughing
It
because he
didn't
was like, "Oh,
happen.
hey man, hey man." I was like,
And Anella tells us, it would be an insult to Kieran to think he's not perceptive enough to know that something is cooking.
but he
He
isn't.
didn't. Then he goes to Chappie's, back to what you were saying.
Yes, sorry. And then yes, he goes to Chappie's. And he's like, let's, chat, da da da. This is Chappie, like he's like almost only halfway through his sentence, and he's like, we gotta vote Kieran now, right? I love Chappie's,
And
Jason.
Chappie's had that grin on like he did a few episodes ago when he was talking to
Yes.
Nesu.
Yeah. He's like, Operation Destiny Part 2? What? That's what I bet what Chappie's is thinking this whole time.
For sure.
So Chappie's is just like so excited. And then he goes, and I think he needs to tell the other person, maybe. And he tells Santoni, and he says, Santoni's like, I know I'm telling you late, Santoni, but this is what needs to happen. And Santoni's like, I'm with you. Let's pinky swear. And if you save me this tribal, like I'm with you for life. So Santoni's in. And then but then Santoni says, but I'm wondering why he wants to flip, which I think she's right
And that
to
makes
feel
sense.
that way. Yeah. Where I was like, yeah, I think that's exactly how I would feel, but you have no choice, right? You have to, I feel like, grasp on anything that you can get. So she's correct in doing this. And then the four are sitting together. So now Santoni, Nicole, Anella, and Chappies are sitting together. This is another, I will say, a kink in Santoni's armor, where she did this with Kieran too, where she's like, I just want Sean out, then I'll do whatever you want, right? And now she's doing it again, I feel, where they're
Mm.
chatting again. And she's like, But why don't we do a 2-2-2? Why, Jason? Like, I'm so confused by this.
I think it makes sense because if they put all 4 votes on person A,
Oh, and
who
then they
might be
play the
Kieran,
idol.
Kieran plays his idol, one of those 4 is going home.
Got it.
No question, period. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And if they split their votes and be 2-2-2, if Kieran plays the idol on himself, it's automatically a revote with
Yeah.
the other 2 people, and they can vote 3-1 to still get out
Makes sense.
this pair of Tyson and Kieran, who are the 2 best players in the game. And that should have been their number 1 priority. What
Yeah.
plan can we hatch to get one of the 2 of them out?
Exactly.
It's not that complicated.
And doesn't need to be Kieran, but I think that Anella did not want Tyson out. He was gonna flip back to Tyson immediately.
Oh.
That's what I think. That's why I think he was like, no, 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 no. Whoa. I just wanted Kieran out, not like either or. Like my plan is very much for Kieran only.
And as this conversation is happening, how are we going to split the votes? 2-2-2. Nicole says, well, what about a 3-1?
What does that even, what?
Then we get this confession from Santoni.
Yep.
It was everything, where she's given us the math and the fingers.
Yeah, she's like
2 is more than 1.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Not this. 2 is more than 1. Yeah. So she's just like, these freaking people. So I think that's why she's getting very irritated by them, because she's just like, I'm trying to have this conversation. I'm trying to figure something out. And then these people are, just not having it. But then finally and then Anella even says, like, this is so easy, 3-1, but you guys are making it so complicated, but like, fine, let's do whatever. And then Santoni clocks that he's getting angry about it.
That from Santoni, because they played together a lot in this game, seeing the frustration on his face. And I'm surprised no one could see the frustration on Santoni's face. Because
they just don't see her, which is.
And her and Chappies are both fans of the game. They've seen a lot of Survivor. They know how the end game works. And we can't say that about Anella and Nicole, who both haven't been known as the strategists this season. They really relied on their allies to make those strategic decisions. Exactly. And now they're being stubborn, I feel, due to their inexperience and knowledge of the game, which is going to guarantee now Tyson and Kieran to win.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. To me, like, it was just, I'm very confused by all of it, because I feel like, that this is everyone in this conversation should be better than this conversation.
Yeah.
But I think emotions, whatever, like, come into play, and then it all goes to hell in a handbasket, I feel. Because then Anella's like, you know what? Actually, I don't want to flip. Screw him. And then he goes to Kieran.
Yeah, they're going to take credit for this move. It's no longer my plan. It's become their plan, because we're splitting the votes.
I didn't even take that note because I was so mad, and I forgot about it.
It's the same outcome. It doesn't matter how you get there. It's about whose torch gets snuffed.
And he could have still been like, no, it was my idea. What do you mean? I was the one in power that came to you and brought the squad together. So I don't understand what he means, that it's not his idea. Like, he needs to say, jury, we know that Santoni needs a little bit of, to get, because they don't like her. Like, I don't know that this is true, but that's what I would say so that the jury, is on my side.
And it's not like people take credit for making my alliance split the votes. No one ever says, at this point in the game, we split the votes because of me. People say, I got them on the jury because it was my plan that got them over there, not how we split the votes. No one cares about that.
And that's what I was going to ask you, even, like, if you were on jury and this was presented to you, whose idea would you think it was?
It's Anella's idea.
Thank you. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, everyone would think it was your idea. Like, you're nuts.
And could you imagine how Rainier would be cheering on the jury for Anella after making a move like this?
Exactly. Oh my God. My heart just, like, broke in a million pieces, because he goes to Kieran and he says, I did something bad.
And Kieran probably thought, oh, did you, like, spill the rice?
Or did you tell me about my idol Max, right? Like, maybe that's what I would think. Like, oh shit, this guy told them about my idol. No.
He says, I was trying to make a move against you. I was going to blindside you. I told them you were playing your idol for Tyson. And he's like, wait, how did they know I had an idol?
Well, I just told you. I told them.
And you could see like the veins in Kieran's forehead
He
bulging
was
during this conversation.
pissed. Oh, he was so angry.
And he tells us it was the most amateur gameplay he's ever seen in
Yes,
Survivor
which it
history.
is. It
It
100%
is.
is. Why would you tell them? Just shut up, right? And be like, actually, I'm just gonna flip back. And that's all you needed to do, Anella, or anyone in the future. Just like if you have second thoughts, just go check in with the crew and be like, hey, are we so good on this? Got it. Don't even say anything.
Yeah, I agree. I just thought of one possible play he could have made was telling Kieran, I'm hearing your name. Like they're not voting for Tyson anymore. They're going to vote for
Oh,
you. Play your idol on yourself.
idol. Yeah. Okay,
Because
that's
that would
smart too.
guarantee they could get out Tyson. But like you
Yeah.
said earlier, he wanted Kieran out. He wanted Tyson there for the final 5.
Exactly. That's why, unfortunately, that wasn't happening.
And we also hear from Kieran, telling us, what should I do? Like he tried to blow up my game. Should I try to
Should
blow
I
up his
blow up
game
his?
tonight? Why not?
Exactly.
And I think Kieran was not necessarily suffering, but experiencing what we call in Big Brother HOH-itis. He had the idol. He knew he was safe. And after being with his sister, he was playing with house money. He was so confident, and we saw that in Tribal Council of the way he was acting. Because he was in rare form, and I was loving it.
Yeah, that's what, but you know what? This is how I like my faves to play. Like, I want them to be in the front. I want them to like drag. I want, like this was fun. Like, I loved it. I was like, yeah, what is Kieran gonna do? Oh my God. Like that was very much where I was, like mentally. So it was beautiful.
What did you think of the conversation that happened next with Kieran telling Tyson?
Yes. So Tyson's like, what a coward. Like, he hasn't added anything to his resume. What is he talking about? And this is exactly what we were thinking. I was like, yes, tell him, Tyson. Because it's true. Like, what has Anella done right now? I couldn't tell you one thing. And maybe I'm not being a good podcast host, but like, I truly can't remember.
And in this moment, I thought Tyson was going to say, well, let's just vote him out. If we can't trust him, let's write his name down.
Yeah.
And I was so surprised that idea did not come to the surface.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, again, I'm just waiting on a tribal council where they're like, y'all, these people keep playing us. Let's not let them. Let's just all vote together. And then tomorrow we'll figure it out between us.
I thought we were going to see that in this episode, and it would become a live tribal.
Exactly. We've thought that a few times now. But it's just, it ain't, the math ain't mathin', I feel. It's just a bummer. Very much a bummer, I feel. But it's fine, I guess. Because then, Tyson's still pretty pissed, but and Kieran's like, I believed in you. Very Tyra Banks. I trusted you. I believed in you. But no, it didn't work. And then we're at tribal, where Kieran just starts to say, Nico, you want us to constantly talk and answer? So here I am answering everything for you. What'd you think of him just like talking to the jury?
I love it. We saw this start in the last episode when Tyson had this approach. Let me paint a picture for you, jury members. And Kieran was there to throw Anella under the bus, make him look like a fool, and keep him another day. And I thought Kieran played it right. He outlined his entire plan. And even talking about, I wanted to target Nicole because she is a challenge threat.
Yes.
And I think that made Nicole nervous.
Yeah. Oh, 100% it made her nervous. And that's why she played her idol. But I think Nicole is like stressed. She's like, oh my God, not me trying to help them. And then them turning on me. And then the jury is loving all of this because which I was, again, very surprised by how like obvious the jury is. Like the jury does not like Santoni. I think they'll respect Chappies and give him the win if he makes it. Depends on who he's sitting against. But like they do not like Santoni. So they're just kind of like whatever. They're loving everything Kieran's saying. And then all of a sudden, and then he shares that I did find an idol. Thanks. And then Nicole goes, thanks to my brother. But like he kind of laughed it off. And Nicole wasn't like, no, like I helped you. Like you need to give me more credit or something,
Yeah, and we do hear around then Anella talking about defending himself, saying, well, even though Kieran has this plan, it doesn't make sense
Mm-hmm.
for my game to blindside Nicole,
Yes.
which was, I think, him really speaking to
Trying.
his
Yeah.
jury, to the jury, his
Exactly.
Zamba OG members, being like, I have her back. Remember this,
Mm-hmm.
whether he actually does or not.
But still, yeah, I agree with you. And then yeah, so that's like I think Anella like helping himself and the jury. I think because all her friends are on jury, they obviously love that. And then after that, Kieran and Santoni start, I feel like, getting into it where he says, it was cold, it was calculated. And let's not forget, you didn't want Nicole out because it didn't work for you and your game. It's not because you care about her. Don't get it twisted. Which, what a genius thing to say.
I loved that because Anella was talking about he was going to make this plan, but he thought about his head versus his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And Kieran's like, no way, Jose. Like, you are selfish. You are here to play for yourself. Like you said, you don't care about her. And it really shut Anella up and stopped him in
Yeah,
his
he didn't
tracks.
say anything,
Not
which
another
again
word.
should tell the jury and Nicole everything about Anella, but I don't know that she clocked that. Whatever. And then we get Santoni versus Kieran. What'd you think about this? Like, it was so dismissive to Santoni, I feel.
I agree. I didn't understand why Santoni was trying to throw her hat in this ring. And she kept like
Right?
trying to interrupt them. Like, can I play the middle ground? Nico, can I say something?
And
And I,
Chappies is like, shut up.
yeah, I would have told Santoni, like, shut it. Let them argue. It puts the
Yeah.
target off of us. But she just like had to interject herself in this conversation
Yeah.
because I do understand where she's coming from, where she
Of
said
course.
Kieran and Anella are playing the same game. They're both lying. They're both two-faced. And they think we're not going to care. And she was like
Mm,
pressing Kieran, why did you tell me to play my idol? Why did you tell me to vote the wrong way? I didn't do that to you. It's not the same.
yep.
And I thought those were great points. She was
No,
really
it
defending herself
100% is.
well and like showing the difference.
I just unfortunately think that the jury just does not like her. So like anything coming out of her mouth, in their mind, they're like liar, liar. We just don't like you, liar. So
Mhm.
that's why I feel like it's just ultimately to her like her detriment. I mean, she said it at the end too, so I know
Yeah.
that she knows.
And I thought Kieran was being kind of petty in this moment, where he was being
Yeah,
very like braggadocious and telling Santoni, well, you threw my name out there first. And
yeah. I
Santoni,
just.
that her
Mhm.
rebuttal so quickly was like, well, you were on a poll for 3.5 hours. You put the target on yourself, which I thought
Exactly.
really like where she responded very well. And that was the right
Mhm.
point to make back at him. But Kieran didn't drop it. He's with his hand motions, being like, girl, you did me dirtier first. Don't
Yeah.
try to act that way. And then Mesu was like
Exactly.
imitating him on the jury, which I was just here for.
Yeah,
That was
she's
a
like
great.
all the time over.
He was getting really emotional.
Yeah, which he's like I said, I don't think anyone was wrong. It's just all of them had um different paths to the end, right? And like I think sorry. I think every single person, okay, ghost. I think every single person was like trying to do the right thing for themselves.
And I just really struggle to believe that Kieran has such a grudge against Santoni from something she said in the first immunity challenge.
Mhm.
Like, who didn't say Kieran's name as a threat after he set like a survivor record for hanging on that pole?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just didn't understand that part. But I think again, anything to get it on Santoni, anything to like drag her. So it didn't matter. It didn't matter. It could have been that you are with Chappies and he eats a lot of rice, so therefore I want to vote you out. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
didn't matter. I don't think it
And
mattered.
I thought he went a little too far, telling her you can't be both the victim and the
Yeah, which is
predator.
like, all right, guy.
Yeah, it's just like it's not necessary. Your
Yeah,
point has been
both
made.
are the victims. That's the
Yeah.
both of you need to like work together. I don't know why at this point you don't bring Santoni. She's not getting the votes.
What did you think of Kieran saying at least Anella owned his mistakes? I have so much respect
Oh,
for
I was
him.
so angry, Jason. I
And
was. His.
Did you hear Tyson commenting like, yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
he did?
Yeah. That
So
was
irritating.
petty as hell. I have no idea what their deal is. Anella did not own anything. All he said was, I don't want to work with those people. That's why I want to come back to you. It wasn't like a take me back, I messed up moment. So what the hell? Again, like I just feel like it was very dismissive to Santoni and like her feelings. And it's not even because we're Santoni fans. Like I love Kieran and I think he outplayed Chappie's and Santoni's by a mile. But
Yeah.
the point is that like there is absolutely no reason for you to sit there and like say that Anella is better than Santoni. Like it makes no sense. Like if Santoni would have shut her mouth at camp, your ass would have been going home. Or Tyson, one of you would have been going home.
And Kieran should have been thanking Anella for coming clean because he was 10 minutes away from being blindsided.
Yep. So yeah, like I said, you're right. It's like that HOH-itis where you're just when you're in power and you're like, how dare they, play the game without me, kind of.
I did think Nicole did really well in this tribal
Yeah.
council because even though she didn't say much, she strategically kept the target off of her back and she didn't put her foot in her mouth.
No. 100%. And Chappie's too. I think Chappie's didn't say much as he should. He needs to just blend into the torches at this point if you can, dude. So yeah, and that kind of like ends it where I just like don't appreciate them, and then like I didn't appreciate the jury kind of rolling their eyes at her either. Like it was just gross. And I hope they're friends now. I really hope so. And I'm sure they are, but like still I hope they're friends. And then it's time to vote. Then the votes are read. Sorry, about to be read, and Kieran says, "Let me put on my idol. Let me put on my bling before y'all vote for me," which I loved.
Yeah, he played his idol successfully, and then Nicole's like, you know what? I'm playing the fire idol.
Me too. Yep. So Nicole plays the fire idol, which they're just like, you should not have done it. Why are you doing it?
Don't play your idol. Instantly says that was a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Which is like, no, it wasn't. She doesn't want to get voted out.
Exactly.
What if somehow she was in the end, right? Like she was the top 2 votes, and then she didn't even give herself a chance to win, or whatever. How annoyed would you have been? Going home literally with an idol in your pocket again.
Especially the last time you can play an advantage.
Play it. Like, why would you take it? I would have played it.
When you know your name has been mentioned today.
When this man literally said it to your face at Tribal.
Exactly.
That it's happening. Or, we've thought about it. Sorry. Get out of here. And then, so that's it. And then we get Kieran. First vote. Nicole votes for Kieran.
I don't think I've been as aggravated this entire season about anyone's voting record. She literally threw her vote at the final 6 tribal council.
Why?
Like, what are you thinking?
Like, I still don't understand why. It makes absolutely no sense, Jason. Where a tribal where you could have gone home. Like, what the hell, dude? And then so she does that, and then Bizarro, and Santoni gets 1 vote, then Tyson gets 1 vote. Santoni gets 1 vote, and Tyson's so petty. I love it because he said from Tyson.
And he thought he was so cool.
Yeah, like I was like, okay. And then Tyson gets another vote, and then Santoni gets another vote. So it's 3 Santoni, 2 Tyson, and 1 Kieran, unfortunately. So with that, the top 2 have to make fire. So before we even go ahead, what are your who are you rooting for? Not rooting for, sorry. Like logically, who do you think is gonna win?
Well, in this moment, I was very happy the fire idol got played.
Yes.
So Santoni had another chance.
Yeah.
But I thought Tyson was going to smoke her, no pun intended, because we've seen him make fire this season.
Mm-hmm.
Just last episode, we saw Santoni telling Chappies, you need to teach me how to make a fire.
Exactly.
So I didn't think she had a chance.
Yeah, that's 100% Jason, how I felt, where I was like, oh, maybe he didn't teach her, poor girl, like she's gone, poor woman. Like, I can't believe this is how she's gonna go out. Like, at this point, just blindside my girl. It might be better, whatever. Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm thinking. And then all of a sudden, they're about to make fire, and then Sean is like, look at Santoni. Santoni's right. Like, Santoni's doing the right thing with how she's shaving off the flint and then kind
Hmm.
of getting it going. And then Warda says, shit, she has a flame. All right,
I,
Warda.
I got off my couch when this happened. I was getting real excited that we might see a big upset.
Yep. Oh, I was like, not even that. Then, like, the fire starts going, and then it's going, and then it's going. So
It's
I'm like, it's
growing.
happening. It's happening. We're getting the upset, right? We're happening. Oh, and then all of a sudden, hold on, production. Where did this wind come from? And why is it not affecting Tyson? Oh, that was heartbreaking, Jason.
I think the win did affect Tyson a
Yeah, he
little
just
bit,
moved his
but he
whole.
moved his whole structure over. And like,
He's
why did
like,
Santoni do that? Risk your hands. Come on.
of course, I would have risked it. I would have been like, "How do I move? What do I do? Can I move my, like a thread somehow, some way?"
Because
Oh,
they
that was
both
hard.
made like blazing fires. They were really growing fast.
Oh,
And I think
amazing
everyone was
fires.
on the edge of their seat, both the jury and the castaways.
Yep, and then the wind moved, and she was trying to like blow the fire, but unfortunately, like that's not gonna work. Like, you are not stronger than the wind. So yeah, like she was just in an unfortunate spot. And it didn't end up working out. Her fire started blowing sideways, and Tyson somehow got his fire going and high and high and high, and bam, his flag comes up, and Santoni's torch is snuffed,
The jury
Jason.
started cheering.
I was so mad. Ugh, I
Uh,
was salty.
Even though Santoni ended up losing this fire making challenge and her torch got snuffed, she did everything she could.
Yes,
She
till
showed
literally the
up,
last minute. Yep.
even in that fire making challenge when everyone had counted her out. And that's how she played the game the entire time, with her back against the
Mm-hmm.
wall, always showing up, giving her best. And we're just so lucky
Exactly.
that we got to see her play in this season.
Oh, it's just Santoni, we love you. Like, it's so amazing to see her play this game. And not only that, it's just like it's so amazing to see her dedication to this game, to like how she was able to break the duo was, back in was it Zamba 2.0,
Yeah.
and like call all the shots, and people were willing to work with her and willing to, make some moves with her. It was so beautiful to see her. And then it just breaks my heart that this is how she could have gone when that tribal pass could have helped our girl.
And as well as that being said, I just want to say this to me really cemented Tyson's game. He
Yeah.
just added another thing to his resume.
Yep.
People are trying to target him, and he keeps surviving through idle plays, with fire making. No one else can say that. And if he gets to the end, he's probably going to sweep anyone else.
Yeah, I mean,
Rightfully so.
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, he deserves to sweep everyone at this point. Like, he's playing amazing. Um, just, I don't know, like his reads are always on point, and like just the Chappie's idol situation puts him, on another
Yeah.
tier. And then on top of that, he has all of this. It's wow, just good for him, man. And as such a young player to be able to do this, he's on another level. I love it. I love watching him, even though he drives me crazy sometimes. But at the end of the day, like, you have to respect his
Yeah, he's
game.
playing a great game.
Exactly. And then, I literally wrote in my reactions, like, how bitter is this damn jury? God. Because poor Santoni, because that would have feel a gut punch, right? Like, when other people are kind of just dragging
Yeah.
you.
And I hope that they're able to clear the air when she gets to
Me
a jury villa
too.
and can become friends with them. And we know Anesu has her back. So at least she has someone to hang out with.
Yeah.
But I hope the rest of them include her and can just like mend fences and let go of their grudge because it's over.
Yeah, I really hope so, Jason. I'm praying for us and our girl, man, because she deserves it, man. She deserves, like, to have some friends. Like, it's okay, she did what she had to do. And so what? And so what, people? And that's the end of the episode, Jason. Next week we're getting like Kieran, Chappies and Nicole kind of trying to come together. Chappie's gonna say, tomorrow's tribal will tell us what happens. Does that mean our guy doesn't win immunity? I don't know.
My biggest takeaway from that moment of Chappie saying tomorrow's immunity challenge means it's going to be a final two. Like tomorrow is day 34.
Oh, I
There's
didn't
only
think of
5 people left
that.
in the game. They're going to have the final immunity challenge on day 38. That is Survivor
Mm,
history.
got it.
And so, how are they only going to have one more challenge over the next 4 days? The math doesn't add up for me. I
Yeah.
think it has to go down to a final two because of how many days are left in the game. Are they just going to
Wow.
have these fluff reward challenges every day? That doesn't make sense. Like, this is the end
Wow.
game.
Yeah, that's true. And I doubt it because they kind of yada yada their reward challenge anyway. So I don't think so.
I also think it's going to be a final two because we keep hearing the contestants reference the final three. And so they're all expecting the final three. So I think production
Yeah.
wants to blindside them.
That would be wild if that's what ends up happening. Production's like, absolutely not, people. We got you. Oh,
Because what else are they
yeah.
going to do?
That I have no idea. Like I said, what you said makes sense because, or is it gonna be another like from Survivor US where they make fire again? But I doubt it, because they already just made fire. So I think
Yeah,
it's
last
gonna be
season on
wild.
Survivor South Africa, it was a final three where they just voted someone
Hmm.
out at final four. And the
Got
previous
it.
season was a final two. And so the rounds at final four was probably one of the
Hmm.
best rounds of Survivor I'd ever seen because it was a 2-1
Wow.
1, which we never see in US Survivor. It was always like a 3-1 or a 2-2
Hmm.
fire making.
Yeah, like who's going.
And
Hmm.
especially with these castaways, like if Chappies and Kieran and Tyson are three of those final four people, anything can happen. And I want to see
Yeah,
them like go head to head with no advantages
exactly.
left.
Yeah, I do like at this point, I think, yeah, I do hope that Nicole goes next. Even though like a woman winning would be amazing, but also like I think the others have like outplayed by a lot.
Yeah, and after this episode, especially if Anella gets to the end, he is a 0 vote goat, no
Yep.
question.
Yeah. And what about your resume then, my guy? Which I feel bad for saying that because like he seems like a good person. It's just such a bummer that he's like afraid. He's not afraid. He's actively stopped himself from making moves just because he wants to like he doesn't want to give the like
The wrong
credit
impression
to
to the
someone else.
jury. Yeah, and like,
Yeah,
how do you defend that at Final Tribal?
exactly. I just think it's silly. It really is, which is such a bummer for him, but whatever, I guess.
That being said, I think the only people that have a chance
Yes.
to win this game are Tyson and Kieran and Chappies. No
Yeah.
disrespect to Anella or Nicole. I just don't think they have much of a chance to win.
No, I think you're even giving people more. Like, I think it is going to be like high percent, like 80%. And oh my God, let me not jinx Tyson and Kieran. Like, Anella is just so afraid of, I just honestly don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
it's such a bummer.
And I hope we don't get to the point where Anella wins the final immunity challenge and gets to pick like between Tyson and Kieran who gets the other final two spots
Oh,
because
then
Tyson
it's,
and Kieran deserve it. And so does Chappies because
yeah.
he is fighting against
No,
all the odds,
he is. I just mean like I don't
but he's
see
not
him
in the
like
numbers.
exactly. Oh my God, that would be wild if Chappies wins over somehow gets there. But I just currently my threat list is also the part 2/3 of the League of
Yeah.
Shadows. Unfortunately, sorry, Anella, we love you, but I
And
just can't see it happening.
I really do think if Chappies gets to the end against anyone else, he can present a case to win the game because he's been on the outs
Mhm.
since the merge. And Tyson and Kieran have been in the numbers. They've been the decision
Yeah.
makers, and they haven't really had to adapt. And that's all Chappies has had to do. And so I think the jury would respect that. Even
Yes.
though they might not like him
100.
more, they respect how he's like really fought every single day to be out there.
I big agree with you on that one. And that's what I'm saying. I'm praying that that is the truth, and that, at this point, my faves, those two are my faves, so I just want them to win it. Sorry, Chappies, we love you. It's just I don't see a place for you, so that's why I don't want anything to mess up like Kieran and Tyson now. So
For
let's go,
sure.
Kieran and Tyson. We praying for this. And with that, anything else, Jason? Perfect. So, let me, sorry, like I said, everyone. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. But it's okay. We'll live, I think. But where can people find you, Jason?
You can find me on Twitter right there at the Real Jo, where I'm posting about both US and international reality TV, sports, college football is coming back, a lot of Marvel stuff going on that I cannot stop thinking about. And as well as tomorrow, you can find me, it might drop on Monday, on the
Yeah.
Never Have I Ever podcast with Sasha, with Chappelle,
Yes.
talking about the next episode of this incredible show. So
We're
thank you
so
for the invite.
excited. Oh my God, we're so excited to have you on. And yeah, for me, you can find me on Twitter at funsize_04. I also host a wrap up for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's a wild time. I had Asia on last week, so go check it out. Again, you don't need to follow the show. Like, we cover basically the whole show, plus our color commentary. I will say, Asia shared a lot of her like really funny celeb stories. Like, she runs into people at grocery stores. Like, good on her. I'm be jealous. I don't run into anyone. And yeah, like Jason said, I also cover Never Have I Ever with Chappelle here on Silent Podcast. We'll be on every week, so make sure you check it all out. And with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. If you're watching video, if you're watching audio, make sure you're following us. If you're on Spotify, make sure you're leaving us a review if you're on Apple as well. Like, it's really helpful. It gets us noticed. We're a small little podcast trying to make it happen. And of course, follow us on Twitch as well for more content, for more reality TV, for Big Brother, you name it, we got it. And with that, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.